Welcome to Family Style, a show about family, entrepreneurship, growth, making this money, and all things healing and walking this journey of life together. Welcome to our family, Family Style.
Welcome to another episode of Family Style. I am Shay Wood. I'm here with my wonderful fam, my wonderfully dressed husband, Mr. Guy Wood, my beautiful sis, Ashley Muhammad, always an icon, and my handsome brother, Kels Mania.
Yeah.
So we are.
If you like that type of
If you like that kind of thing.
Oh God! So we are here today, like standing on business, talking about cutting ties. Really important topic. We can go a lot of different ways on this. I know that often telling other people no is telling myself yes. So sometimes when you cut ties, it's a necessity. Sometimes it's a want, and sometimes it's a you gotta have. And so we're here to talk about how we cut ties, healthy, unhealthy ways, how we can improve that, how we can get better, and how we can teach our kids to cut ties healthy.
I just had I had a rough year.
Oh, you just jumped in.
Yeah,
2024 was a rough one,
I
huh?
had a rough one. And I
Tag
had
me in when you're done.
yeah, I had a smoke list, a list of people
Okay.
that I curated messages for
Oh my goodness.
reasons why and I'm not irrational, but it was like compounded stuff. It was a lot of little stuff. And these people just kept picking themselves. And there's nothing wrong with picking yourself. But what I realize is maybe I should pick myself, because every time you're dissatisfied with something I do, I hear all of this and you that and you that. And then I let you come back in like a revolving door. So I had all these curated messages like, yo, B, this wasn't right. And I think it's just best. And this is out of nowhere. Some people's like, it was blindsided, but it really wasn't.
Right.
I'm like, maybe we should just not be friends anymore. And then what people did with that, they made it once again about themselves.
Okay.
And what I realized, like we said, when you pick yourself, it's hard for people. And I always got to tell myself that no is a complete sentence.
Yes.
And if you allow someone to continuously throw you under the bus, do this, do that, because you're a good person and you understand, and they could do crash outs, but I deserve a crash out also. So I feel I held it. I did it healthy. And the only reason why I can say that is because a few of those people now came back and say, yo, I see where you were at the time. Can we revisit our friendship? And I say, you know what? We can. But I needed to say that because you done motherfucking crashed out on me 10 times. I'm like, yo, and I keep letting you back in. So I curated this beautiful, call it my smoke list. And everybody who was on the smoke list, maybe they'll watch it, maybe they'll get a laugh out of it. Because I'm not a real serious guy. When I am serious, it's for a serious reason.
Right.
So I think I did it in a healthy way. And I try to have healthy cutoffs. But it's like, is it really ever healthy? It's like, how can you cut someone off? It's a fine line between what's healthy and what isn't when you're cutting someone off.
And so you said you were gonna tap in, so you tapped in.
Yeah, I would mirror that sentiment. 2024 was a very tumultuous year.
It was
And
a
I-
wop babaloo bop.
Yeah,
wop,
it was a
bam,
wop
boo.
bam bam for goddamn sure. And it was an internal one, right? Because I think that one thing that I love about the four of us sitting here is that we all take great pride in being a really good friend. And that is something that we can all attest to each other, being family with each other. And we always kind of tap in with each other. Like, is everything okay? You know what I mean? And so I think that I've always tried to be that for my friends. And so I think that it got to a place where I just didn't feel, I was tired of feeling like I was more of a friend than it was being back reciprocated to me. And so I know for a fact, though, that what I did was unhealthy. Like my version of crashing out, because to your exact point, it's like you can talk to me. We're here, like we're locked in. So we can have a conversation. But the minute that I felt like, now social media took precedence over speaking to me, the person, it was, and I had a prerequisite conversation, like, because like you said, it's been done over and over, but you let the person back in always because you love them, right? And so once I felt like I got to a point where I was like, I can't, like, my love has to have a limit here, because it's like, it's no way that can keep happening. However, I want to say the way that I went about it was dead wrong. And when I have to look back over it again, I would have never done it that way.
I was gonna do that too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would have never done it that way, right? Now, sadly, I don't regret the way that I did it because I needed to have that crash out, I guess, in order to land here and to grow, because that situation taught me a lot. And I grew a lot as a human being. And also remember, like we've spoken about before, just a thing of mine is like just sticking up for myself and having people
Right.
stick up for me. And so that was just something that I had to do that, right?
Mhm.
However, if I had to do all over again, I wouldn't, I probably
Right.
wouldn't do it the same. But I don't regret doing it. And I really do know that was not the correct way of handling it, right? Because everybody doesn't have the bandwidth to handle what I can handle. Right. And everybody's emotions is not set up the same.
Yep.
And so I wish that there was a conversation that could have been had. And I tried multiple times to have a conversation and the door was closed to that. And that's okay too. Right. But I think that like when we're realizing that sometimes two people maybe just don't see eye to eye. But I did want to ask y'all a question. What happens when circumstantial makes you think that the two people could probably coexist fine, but just other outside sources, people in your ear, hearing other things. Like, what do y'all think about that? Because sometimes we cut things off that maybe shouldn't be cut off. Some things can be resolved within a conversation and you'll be able to move forward.
A lot of times people are holding in feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be anything. It could be jealousy. It could be envy, which is almost the same. It could a lot of, and I do this. I'm a victim of this. I keep a lot of things to myself.
Inside.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, but I'm a counter.
Yeah.
And most people got 4 to 5 fuck ups with me.
Yeah.
Before I'm ghost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it could be, it could be it could be little things or it could be major.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like confrontation.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, we can get past this, let's move on. But once, like you say, you choose yourself, people don't like that.
Yeah.
Or when you stand up for yourself.
Absolutely.
And that's on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I've probably been wrong, and I'm quick to walk. I'm a Gemini.
Yeah.
I'm a gingerbread man. I run. Fuck walking. I run. I be looking for shit. Oh, oh, that was the last fucking straw. Who left the dryer door?
Right.
I'm gone. I got a place on radio across the
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but that's not healthy.
It's not at all.
And I realize that sometimes you have to deal with it because of small things. Because I've done it to my children.
Yeah.
I've done it to friends. I've done it to. I just don't hold a lot of bullshit. And that might be my deflection.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's very unhealthy.
trauma
Eventually, it's gonna
response.
come out.
It's a trauma response.
Yeah.
Because
There
I
you
teach
go.
people all the time that
There you go.
confrontation is healthy.
This topic.
Confrontation is healthy, right? Like
Yes.
everything does not have to be an argument.
And confrontation is not.
It's a discussion.
It's not nasty.
Absolutely.
It's a discussion,
we can
guys.
absolutely have a conversation, not agree, and both still end it on a healthy note.
And still love each other.
And still, I was just about to say, and still love each other at the end of it, right? And that's what was wrong with my crash out.
Right.
Because I took the stance as if I didn't love the person anymore. And if that person was to call my phone right today, what do you need? How can I help you?
Right.
Because I still love the person, and I always will.
Right.
But I think that's what happens is sometimes our actions, he's so crazy. Sometimes our actions cause people to think that we don't love them. Yeah. And I've been a victim of this, like in my relationship. Yeah. My husband will say, like, he'll be disappointed in me or he'll be upset with me about something. And all of a sudden I clam up because I think, oh my goodness, he's going to leave. He doesn't love me anymore.
Yes.
Right?
So
and
aggressive.
All the way there.
I go it's so
Damn.
aggressive. But
And he's like, bitch, I just asked you for some more juice. Like,
but it's
why are you out the door?
Right, but it's my trauma response, right? It's my trauma
and
response.
I'm glad you said that.
It's my trauma response.
Yeah.
Because I think that
It's almost like self-sabotaging.
For sure. Because what happened to me young is, right, a person in your life that's supposed to be with forever withstanding person was very easy to walk away from me. So once I realized that, like, if that person could walk away, right? My husband, he's the only person in my life that is only here because he wants to be here, not because he's obligated to be here. Right. So if he's disappointed in me, if he's sad, if he's upset with me, what if he just decides, I don't want to do it anymore?
So certain relationships are supposed to stay.
Yeah.
But let's assume that there are some relationships that we don't understand, don't need to continue.
Right.
Everybody does not deserve a front row in your life.
Absolutely.
And friendships have seasons. Sometimes it's just over.
Yep.
And so sometimes it's time to refresh the audience. Let's change our position.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
That's the boss in you.
But then you also grieve that because you miss
for
his
sure.
friendship,
Yo,
his
grieving
routine.
someone that's still alive is a real thing, and it's
Yes.
very hard to grieve a friendship, man.
For sure.
You know what they say? We all on the elevator,
Yeah.
and everybody can't go to the top.
Right. Some people get
So
off.
some people gotta get off at the 4th floor. Some people get off the 10th floor.
Pick up some new friends.
But it's,
Yeah.
it's,
Some new
it's
ones.
hard, man. Like,
Yeah.
I take friendship very seriously.
Very serious.
And I realized from last year, with a lot of my friendships ending and things transitioning, I said, oh, a part of my happiness is friendship.
Yep.
So when my friends are going through things, that affects me. I'm able to go through my shit. I'm able to people to crash out and give me their ass a kiss. But when my friends are going through things, I'm more hurtful than my own shit because I can deal with my shit. I don't like seeing people around me going through bad and
Suffering,
hard
yeah.
times and suffering and they got fired and they can't get a job. Like I internalize it so much. And I realized that last year.
Gotta
And then
kill you, B.
what I also realized is that my friends mean so much to me.
Yep.
So when things are not going right in my life financially, love-wise, as long as my friends are good and my friendships are good, I'm always good. If I lose someone, I'm good. But last year I was grieving real friendships. I was grieving relationships and all types of things I wasn't prepared for. And it was all at the same time. And it was so aggressive. I was like, yo, it was literally the season of transition that I was not prepared for.
Right.
So you're right. Some relationships do end. You realize we're not for each other. But then the hardest part is people that you thought you were going to spend your life with.
Forever.
Even if it's just friends.
Yep.
It's very hard to grieve a friend that's still alive.
Right.
Yeah.
But like a mate and friend, just because someone is not 100% who you want them to
Right.
be,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that they're not the 100%
No,
that
but
they
think of-
have.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
And sometimes we have to give people a little bit more grace. We're not raised together. We all have
For
different ideas of, what the top and bottom is of our capabilities and our emotional intelligence. But it's hard for you because you base how they react based on you.
Right.
Right.
And so sometimes we got to do the work to give them a little bit of grace.
It also goes to the love languages, right? And what I realized in relationships is we usually love people in our love language and not theirs. And I think that's where we make the mistake. And it's not till you think about it, you're like, wait, hold on. Physical touch is my love language. I don't know if that's this
Right,
person's
right,
love
right.
language. I could just be a creep to them, like, yo, you
Yeah.
touch it too much.
Yeah.
And I think just like in friendships, I don't even know if it's a thing, and maybe it is. Are there love languages for friends? Because some friends
Absolutely.
need different things.
Yeah.
Like I got
Yes.
some friends that I have to check in for them to realize that we're good because they may be like an overthinker.
Yes.
Like maybe we're not cool no more. I got some friends I cannot speak to for 3 years and we back. Soon as
Yeah,
we back
nothing.
together.
Yep.
Every friendship, just like every relationship, requires a different level of yourself.
For sure.
And I don't think people pay attention to that. And what I realized, just like in relationships and friendships, people try to treat every friendship the exact same way.
You cannot.
And you can't.
Nope.
And you gotta accept people for where they at and who they are.
Right.
I always say this. I say, yo, B, I love you regardless.
Yeah.
Right.
I already know the way you are. It doesn't offend me. It doesn't piss me off. I just know that you are this way.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to change you. I accept you for who you are.
Right.
But you can't change me.
Right.
Because I ain't trying to change you.
Right.
Right.
Please
Right.
leave me alone because I'm old as dirt and I'm not changing.
Right.
I
Right.
can't see it.
Right.
It's just the only woman that got me to change.
Right.
Right.
Love it.
Oh.
No, I mean, it's hard, B, when she the chef and the
Thank you for recognizing
and
that.
she run that bank
That's a
account.
smart man. I
So,
like
nigga,
him.
I gotta change.
I like him.
change.
I'm gonna keep him.
gotta
So
change,
it's
so.
funny how you guys went to friends. Let's go to family. How about when you have to cut off people that are a little bit more closely connected?
Yeah. You know what, something that you were saying earlier, and I thought about that when about giving people grace, and I was like, I wonder how many people think about that when they make the decision to cut their parents off. Because I know, a few people who have had like tumultuous relationships with their parents, right? And had to make the hard decision, which I'm sure,
Right.
because this person had a hand in raising you.
Right.
And if not, this person at least made you,
Yeah.
right? And so that's a very hard, tie to cut.
Right.
From your parent. And so I just wonder, like, navigating that, like how do people deal with that? Because that's a
Yeah.
very very heavy place
That's
to be
heavy.
in.
And we all jokingly say it, but that, like, I've never had to deal with a situation like that. I don't even know how I would do it. When I meet people and they be like, they cut their mother off, like, damn, like,
that's
But
like,
you gotta realize, if something is not right for you,
Yeah.
for your own sanity,
For your
once
peace.
again, you have to choose yourself.
you have to.
Now, fortunate, I'm lucky. My mom's is a beautiful person. She stays to herself. She don't bother me. My father's no longer here. But once again, I look at my mom's and I know the type of person she is. I don't judge her for who she is and what she is. I love her.
Right.
My father, I loved him, but I also didn't want to be like him. I knew that that's not healthy.
Showed you what not to
Yeah,
be like.
And that's a good lesson within itself.
But I didn't hold fault to who he was.
Right.
Same.
I just said I'm not gonna be like that.
Same.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't have a great relationship with my dad, and I think I didn't make a choice. I didn't make a choice lightly not to have a great relationship with him. But I also can honor and respect who he was and love the fact that he loved my mother enough to make and create me and my brother. That's all the respect I feel like I can give to you, and that's good enough for me. Maybe a counselor might tell me different, but I don't have any grief in that because I love who I am. I'm happy that every mistake of who I thought he was created me, so I honor that. Thank you for being exactly who you are. I wouldn't want him to be anybody else because me and my brother wouldn't be the dope ass people we are. But I also am smart enough to know that that shit don't work for me. And so there's intelligence in sometimes letting people go. Like, I need better than you can give me. And so I don't.
There's a lot
find
of lesson
problem with
in
that.
other people's faults.
Yeah.
Because I look at Dad and I love him for who he are, and I love him for the things that he's taught me. Because the one thing he did teach me is I don't want to be like you.
Yeah.
And I straight up tell him this. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
As I said, parents teach you who to be, who
That's
not
a great
to be
lesson.
all the time.
And you said something too about family. Sometimes people are who they are. You just got to accept it.
Yeah, I used to always, not to cut you off, I used to always say to the kids, I know you wanted Jay-Z and Beyonce, but you got me and Shaq. I
Who you said that to?
All the kids, because, they want a ball. They don't want to hear this bullshit I'm talking about. Clean the room. They ain't got nobody to clean it for us.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm just like, yo, you don't get to pick your parents.
No.
Right.
You don't get to pick who you are, but you do get a chance to develop and be the person that you want to be.
Right.
This goes back to Instagram. Everybody says who they are on Instagram. They promote themselves. I'm this guy. I'm loyal. I'm this. I'm handsome. I'm tall. I'm this and that. But they don't say, listen, I got a 420s credit score and I'm behind on 2 car notes.
Right.
But I could learn to love a millionaire lady. That's what they're looking for, but they're not going to say that.
Right.
You understand me? So my thing is, be who you want to be. Become the person that you acting like. Really be that person.
Right.
If you're going to be the man, be the man. Don't act like you the man. Be the man. Really become that person.
Right.
So love, treat your family right, and do right by everybody, but don't let nobody shit on you.
And also, what I've learned about cutting people off is the hard part about it is you usually learn what the person really thought about you during the cutoff. And that I don't like.
Yeah.
Because
it's nasty.
I'm very transparent, and I'll straight up say, I'm like, yo, I don't like the way you do this. I don't have a secret compartment of things I don't like about someone.
Right. So you're not doing it to harm them.
No, I'll straight up tell you, yo, I don't like the way you talk to your friend, not me. I learned that from just being around you guys, and I realized if you're friends with someone, if you're dating someone, if they talk to their friend crazy, eventually they're gonna talk to you crazy.
Yeah.
So I want everybody to be their best person they can be for everybody.
Right.
So when I do cut a friend off, if now you start telling stories about me, like where was any of these stories?
Yeah.
Right. I just went through something with a good friend, and we reconciled, but it was a really dope moment. I wasn't able to be there for her the way she wanted me in that moment.
Right.
So when I told her this, then she was like, I don't feel safe with you. And I'm like, that was kind of wild, because if I would have did what you wanted me to do, I would have never heard that.
Yeah.
So it's like you was walking around with that and you just pulled out this Uno wild card on me. And that made me, and she didn't understand why it hurt me. I'm like, first of all, I am a black man whose whole brand is uplifting black women.
Right.
For a black woman to say she doesn't feel safe with me because I wouldn't come do something she wanted me to do at the time. She
It's
wanted me to do
manipulation.
it was weird. It was
Yeah.
almost like conditional. And I want unconditional friendship. Yo, okay, cool. It's like you walked around with it. So basically, let's say you ask me for a cup of juice. I don't give you a cup of juice. See, that's why I don't fuck with your ass. The cup of juice threw you. Like the cup of juice ain't throw you up. You been had that.
Yeah, that's
This
petty.
is your last straw, and I don't like that.
She was holding that.
Right? Don't hold on that because that's
Yeah.
hurtful.
Yeah.
That means that we were never really friends. It's conditional. She got it. It was really rough. It could not get through to her. But I'm like, yo, that's really dangerous to tell someone they don't feel safe. Because I'm like, if I would have did it, would you have felt like that?
nah.
It was unfair.
Should have waited till next week and tell you
Right.
something else.
Right.
So now we are all adults, and we're obviously learning still how to deal with this. How do we teach the next generation, our children, how to handle these emotional challenges that they have to go through?
What I tell my son is, I try to get him to understand his emotions, and we were just talking about this yesterday. I said when you're not in charge of when another person controls you emotionally, they own you.
Right.
Yeah.
If they're able to say something to upset you every single time, they can literally turn you on and off.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get them to understand how your emotions, you can feel away, but you don't have to
Show it.
Your
Yeah.
body language doesn't have to change, and
Yeah.
Yep.
attitude. I could be upset with you and say, yo, what you did to me, that was wrong, and still
Yeah,
be
love you.
engaging in the moment
Yeah.
that we're in. But we shut down and go to the corner and sit and pout. I'm like, someone owns you now, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get them to
Right.
understand, do not let your emotion, don't become
I
victim
like
to
that.
your
I'm
emotion.
going to tell Sydney. Now, for me, and sometimes I feel a little sorry for you because I might be a silent assassin because sometimes you will never know I'm not going to ever mess with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will put you on my do not fuck with list and you won't even know.
Damn, I love it.
Shitless. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Smokeless.
I don't have that ability.
I know.
No, you
Yeah,
don't.
I do not have that ability. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's
Yeah.
because I don't know, but
Yeah.
I can't wear but so many faces. I got one face,
Yeah.
and I gotta show up as me
Right.
every single time.
Well, I must say I'm a Gemini,
Yeah,
and I could be around you,
yeah.
and not fuck with you.
Yeah, I don't.
You said something. You said something one time that made me realize a lot the way you handle a lot of things. When you was like when you was younger, you used to get picked on and you didn't have a voice, and now that
Yeah.
you got a voice,
Yes.
so it made a lot of things make sense. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we forget why people are the way they are because
Yeah.
they may have gotten
Yeah.
the
Right.
shit into the stick somewhere
Yeah.
else, and they're like, nah, never again, baby.
Yeah.
I'm standing
Yeah.
the fuck on business,
Yeah.
and I
And
get
it's
it.
it's not to take it to an extreme, right? Because I'm always kind. Like I said, my heart is pure. I'm would give literally the shirt off my back,
Yeah.
if I
Right.
could. But the thing is that like once I feel like I've had the conversations, I've done the things, I did what the proper thing to do is.
Right.
Now I'm like, oh, you still playing? You think I'm her? You
Right.
think I'm the same little girl that they would,
Right.
play
bully.
with
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
on
Come out
the
fighting.
schoolyard?
Yeah.
So it's like,
just temperament. I
just
get it.
temperament. Yeah,
I
it's
swear
like,
when
oh.
you said it, so much clicked. I said, I
Yeah.
never thought about.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like,
Right.
so now let me remind you why I'm not her.
Yeah.
And why if I had to be her again, because my whole thing is I grew to be a person that younger me would be very proud of
Right.
and would have loved and actually wanted and yearned for as a kid.
Right.
That's who I turned into as an adult.
Yeah.
And guess the beauty about it is I'm that way for every person sitting here.
Yeah.
I'm that way for every person there's nobody that could play with or say anything about anybody sitting here
Yeah.
that I'm not going to make sure, whoa, like we're not doing that like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but I mean that wholeheartedly because
No, seriously.
as
she
much
done
as
turned down money for me. Respectfully,
But all
she
of us
got
have,
her own.
one way or another, all of us have.
But no. She turned down a campaign. Not saying that y'all wouldn't turn down the campaign. Some of y'all would have picked.
I turned down a campaign for Ash.
You did? Oh,
Yeah.
That's good, but I'm you
Gotcha.
did.
Yeah.
You did.
But one way or another, we all turned down money
we
for
did.
each other.
Yeah,
Like,
We did.
yeah.
We stand on business, and I love the fact that we do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I understand.
And I don't even,
understand
and none of us think nothing of it. It's
Nothing-
it's-
nothing of
I
it.
don't know. I don't look at any of that as a loss to me.
Yeah.
Because my integrity is worth more than money.
1000%.
Truly.
And I think that's really right now what the biggest lesson that when it comes to my kids, that's the biggest thing that I'm teaching my kids because there is a drought. There is literally like
dry.
we are in a
Yeah.
recession of many
Oh, yeah,
things,
yeah, yeah.
and integrity and morals is one of them.
No,
Right.
truly.
People
dry.
are literally selling their souls to be
Yeah.
like, social media goals and
Yeah.
and like just putting
Some people selling their soul just for laughs on Instagram.
just for laughs on Instagram and like just doing the most immorally like things that under any other circumstance you would know that it's wrong.
Right.
But for some likes and some views and a soft place to land, you like, well, fuck it, I'm at the balls to the walls and I'm just gonna be. You understand what I'm saying? So we're in a drought of that, and so I think that like pushing that and realizing that heavy is important. And so I think that when you get to the place where you feel like you have to cut a person off, I think my whole thing is what I would love, and I know it's very pie in the sky of me to think, but I really will hope that there would be a place where we all could coexist.
Yeah, no,
everybody,
it is.
even people that we don't think the most like you can stay over there, but we can coexist and we can be. You understand what I'm saying? But I get it, and I do agree that sometimes it's healthy to kind of just kind of keep your distance from some people, and because sometimes people just don't bring the best out of you or whatever have you.
Just like chemicals, some chemicals just don't go together.
Don't mix, right? But I would love if I had it my way that we could just have the uncomfortable conversation and people were willing to change. See, I think the reason why is because so many people are being comfortable, stuck in a way.
Yeah.
I think if everybody was open to change,
that's not gonna happen.
It's not realistic.
But that takes maturity.
Change is
and
scary.
it takes maturity, and change is very scary.
Right.
But
people have to, not to cut you off, but people have to look at themselves
and see wrong.
and see wrong.
A lot of people don't like looking at
and a
themselves.
lot of people
and
don't
nobody
do
do. A lot of people don't do that.
No.
Which is why I always say accountability is for sure a
you have to.
superpower.
And I always say this.
accountability is
I
a
always
superpower.
say this because my life is different because I looked in the mirror and I had a heart-to-heart with myself.
Yeah.
I said, you cannot keep going on like this. You look perfect to the world,
Okay.
but you're capping.
Yeah, right.
You understand me?
It's BS.
It's BS. You're
Yeah.
selling bullshit.
Mhm.
And this before clothing and all that. You're 30 years old. You got 3 kids. You're chasing after another lady, and you gotta figure this shit out. You gotta figure it. No, seriously, you gotta figure it out. And I had to have the heart-to-heart with myself.
Yeah.
Else I wouldn't be sitting here in this position.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends went to the left or went to the right when I went to the left. And I had to do that because at the end of the day, it was like I had to choose myself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, I don't dislike them, but it's like I'm going to choose me all the time. So, but you gotta look at yourself and you gotta analyze yourself. You say, yo, okay, I look good. I got a car. I got this. I got that. But nigga, you ain't got this. You ain't got that.
Yeah.
You don't have this. You should have all this other stuff.
Right.
You understand? It's not just material stuff. You feel me? You have to have that. If you can't talk to yourself and be serious with yourself, and you can fool yourself at the shit you
Or you
shoveling
can surround
to-
yourself with people
Yeah.
fooling you, helping
Yeah.
you fool yourself.
Mask it.
No.
Yep,
You
yep.
gotta, and that's when I think that shit, the light bulb goes off, because God already got a plan for you.
Yep.
But if you're not listening to him or walking with a purpose, he'll let you go all off into the wild.
Right.
Right.
And you think
understand?
because God ain't stopping
Yeah.
you. No, he letting you go. Go,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
If I didn't say 5001, I made this shirt when I was at that party. When the guy was looking at me, I could have been like, oh, yeah, he thinks this is Versace.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So the fact that I was smart enough to be honest at that moment, God is like, okay, I like that. You was honest. You told him you made it. You feel me? You was honest to say you didn't make it. You have a tailor that makes clothes.
Right.
Right.
So I could make you one. That was the change in my life. Like
Right.
boom. But I was already on that path.
Right.
I already knew about fabric. I already knew. My mother was a seamstress. I never put that together until we were in an interview one day. So the fact is that you're walking, you're going through your purpose, but you're not really understanding.
Right.
And the fact that I could not be cool with my daughter at one time,
Yeah.
that's asinine.
Yeah.
Just to be right.
Yeah.
I would rather be wrong and get those years back.
For sure.
You
And a lot
understand
of
me?
times I would tell God, do you want to be right or do you want to be in a relationship? Sometimes you
Right.
have to censor yourself
Yeah.
in order to be in a relationship with somebody. But
Yeah.
as a parent, I've always told my daughter, my job is to get you to understand that you have to work with difficult people.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to go to work.
Yeah.
They're
School.
in in-law
Yep,
relationships.
Yeah.
They in school, but you still have to exist with them. So just because you don't like someone, they don't have the same ideas, doesn't mean that you cannot have them in your life in some way. Because
Right.
if you walked away from everybody in your life
Yeah,
that
you have nobody.
You have
You
no
have
one.
nobody.
alone.
You have nobody.
You have no
It's a
one.
hard conversation.
it's
to
a
have
very
with
hard
Brenda, yeah.
conversation because everybody is not who you are.
Yep.
And we all didn't grow up together. We don't have the same
Yeah.
morals. We don't have the same values.
Mhm.
We don't go to bed at the same. We don't eat the
Yeah.
same. We don't have the same genes. So it's like so much
We don't hit the
different.
gym at the same time.
Right. I
You know what
see
I'm
you.
saying?
I
So
see
we
you.
have to
Right,
be
right.
No judgment,
who
no
we
judgment.
are,
Yeah.
but we have to coexist in the deficiencies
Coexist.
of people
Jordan,
are.
you heard that.
Yeah.
Free commercial. Coexist.
Fuck for our son Jordan.
Yeah.
But you do have to understand that people are different, and sometimes you have to meet people where they are.
Where they are.
To be in any type of work relationship
Yeah.
or friend relationship. And so I give people a little bit of pass.
Mhm.
As a lady of a certain age, I
Mhm.
understand that everybody's not who I want them to be.
Right.
And everybody ain't who they want to be. And
For
sometimes,
sure.
a lot of times, people are working through their problems and they don't even realize that they're working through their problems and taking it out on other people.
Yeah.
The emotional dumping, I call it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
damn,
like
that.
Damn, that's a good T-shirt.
And people don't even realize they need help,
Marketing money.
and so they react because they really need someone to come help them.
Right.
So sometimes cutting the ties for you, and sometimes it's for other people.
It's for other
Right,
people,
right.
absolutely. Because people cannot be honest with you and give you what you need if they are barely holding on and can't give it to themselves.
Yeah, truly.
So-
Truly.
So
This was a
this was a
great
great
yeah.
conversation.
Yes.
Always heavy. So
Yes.
This wasn't that. I mean, I
It
guess
didn't
I'm
feel
getting
heavy.
used to the
Yeah.
I mean,
conversation.
you gotta
You're
flex
building up your
flex
emotional
muscle.
toughness.
Yes, I'm
But
getting
I think-
in
I think this
tune with
episode is-
myself.
I think this episode is gonna open up people and make people think, and I
Yeah.
think that's what a lot of people like about our conversations.
Yeah.
Like y'all never thought about it that way, or just hear a different perspective, or one that you agree with. Because sometimes you be like, maybe I'm bugging. To somebody
Yeah.
else say, like, oh, I wasn't bugging.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
truly. And if it happened to you more once, 3 or 4 times, maybe it's you.
You the fucking problem.
Maybe it's
All
you.
right.
Maybe
Yeah,
you
lady.
are the problem.
Maybe you are the
Right.
problem.
Go see the
Are
fucking
people
lady.
are people cutting you off
Right.
multiple
So,
times a
motherfucker,
year
you
in
are
your
the
life?
problem. Go
Right?
see the lady.
Are there times when you've just realized your phone is very dry?
Yeah.
No one's
Right.
calling you.
Yeah.
You're not getting hit up like you used to. People aren't inviting you to the shindigs and the cookouts. They're no longer asking for your potato salad.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's another-
you are the problem.
The
Yes,
fucking problem.
you. Raisins in the potato salad.
Okay. We're doing a little bit something different this time, fam. Thanks to Harlem
Damn, That's what we
Champagne.
doing? Okay.
We're doing it different.
Okay.
Our wonderful neighbors from Harlem, Dard and Dardra, Harlem Champagne. They're our wonderful sponsors. And so what I wanted to tell everybody is love yourselves, but love each other, family style.
Looking good, babe. Looking good. Thank you.
Beautiful. Oh
Thank
my
you.
God. Yes.
Looking good
oh,
there.
You're looking amazing, babe.
Thank you.
Let me see. The hair is. Oh my God. The hair is wavy.
You always love it. Thank
super
you.
wavy.
Oh, wait, you got it.
I give you 2 points for the waves.
Okay, thank you. I think it
Points.
deserves more, but
Hey, let me do my job. All right. You got 2 points for the wave.
okay.
The whole the tie, the shirt with the leggings. You get another 2 points for that shirt and
Thanks.
the tie.
Lovingly made by you.
That's 4, yeah. Oh, the glasses is fire too. Those are new HH Bespoke
Absolutely. HH Eyewear.
eyewear. Beautiful.
Thank
Damn,
you.
You running my numbers. You know I went to public school, man. You got 2, 2, 4. Okay, the
Okay.
glasses. Another 2, that's 6. Shirt and tie, that's another 2. We had 8.
Okay, 5001 flavors.
Yeah, those leggings. I'm a little biased. The leggings is. Let me see. Turn around.
Well, I love, my patent leather leggings. I have them in all colors.
Yeah. Those are beautiful.
Okay.
I give you another point for that.
Okay.
So what we at? 7?
It could be higher, but these are gifts from my lovely husband, the
No.
shoes.
And the shoes are spiking. Spiking. I think the shoes is another 4. Where we at? 12?
Oh,
15?
I like your math. Thank you, babe.
Yeah,
Okay.
divided by 1. Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
And what about you? Well, first of all, you're looking like a bag of money with the green. I love when you wear suits.
Oh, thank you.
I love your glasses.
Yeah, these are the HH new HH.
I see.
See them, right?
I love your
A suit is
suit
5001.
and your shoes.
You know what I'm saying? I just
love
wanted
all
to
of
do that. I
your
wanted to do
accoutrements.
that. And the shoes are Virgil Hablo.
Okay.
The last collection. Everybody asks me, what's the green tab about?
And I know.
You don't know.
You don't know, but I know.
Do the research.
So I'm loving everything. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to rate you, but you're perfect to me.
Bias, 15, what I get?
Trying to get a good drink tonight, that's all.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna get a good drink. You're definitely gonna get a good drink, all right?